Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Got a couple of my buddies here. I wanted to do a video on banjo tips, okay? So this video is gonna have over 50 banjo tips, all right? Just from over my years of playing and from my years as, from teaching others how to play and stuff like that. Just some things that will be helpful to you. So I hope you'll go grab something to drink, sit back, and maybe grab a notebook too, okay? And take down some of these things that might be helpful for you, okay? So I'm gonna try to go through them as quick as I can, but there are some things that I need to, talk about here. And they are in no order. I just came up with 50, and these are all good, okay? So I hope you will enjoy this and get something out of it, okay? Because, I've been playing since about 2005, and I started out on Scruggs style and then moved over to Clawhammer, and then way later, then I started doing some two-finger stuff, and all in between that, I've picked some three-finger with no picks or anything like that, just some three-finger stuff that was just kind of left over in me from playing guitar in the past and stuff like that, as well as the Scruggs stuff that I was learning. So I hope this will be helpful for you. Okay, so number one, some of these are real simple. Again, number one, get an electronic tuner. That will be very helpful for you. Use it, get it, and use it. Number two, use a strap, okay? I have medical reasons that I cannot use a strap. A strap will help you with your positioning of the neck, okay? So put the strap on and do it right so that that neck is up at an angle, okay? Because that is gonna really help you. And, all I wanna do here is help you with these tips. So if you have a strap on and your neck is down here, that's not helping you, all right? You need to put it on so that it's like this. And I have videos for most of these things that you can find and use if you need help with it. Okay, so get that strap. Next one, positioning, okay? I see a lot of players play with the banjo head in the middle, between their two legs, in the middle, right? One thing to do, especially if you have a longer scale, a full scale, 26.5-inch banjo, if you have any problems with your shoulder or anything like that, consider making the move over to your right leg, okay? And flip that if you're left-handed, okay? So move that pot just farther away from you, and that'll bring the whole neck over more, and that'll really help out your shoulder. Another thing you can do is get a shorter scale banjo. I play a 25.5-inch scale now. Love it, okay? I'm not going back to a full scale. I have had that issue. Next, root your thumb. If you don't know what that is, I have videos on it. Root your thumb. That's going to make you successful at playing this style of banjo. Now, if you're not a clawhammer player, okay, don't listen to me. But root that thumb, okay, how I show you how to do it. It's going to really help you, all right? Take the time from the beginning to learn the basic clawhammer stroke, okay? Now, my style is different than a lot of other people's. And, they call it the bum ditty, okay? I just sort of called it the basic clawhammer stroke, but it doesn't matter what it's called. Learn that. Single note brush thumb, single note brush thumb. Learn that. Live in that for a while. Get it down. If you don't have that down, then quit moving on. You need to back up, okay? Learn that. Take the time to learn it correctly. Then, alternating clawhammer stroke, okay? 3-4, 3-4, 2-3, 2-3. Learn the alternating stroke. Spend time in it, okay? You need this. You need to be accurate with it, and you need to really take the time to learn to do it correctly, all right? I have a great exercise called the string finder, and that's basically where you just go, you're just doing a basic clawhammer stroke, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, up and down. Then you do 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2. You just alternate it around. You really need to be accurate, okay? Another thing is pick which finger you're going to use and stick with it. And I don't have a preference over which one you pick. It doesn't matter, okay? Whatever's more comfortable and works for you. I actually started out using my index finger, and then after about a year, I started developing some pain up high in my knuckle. So I just moved over to the middle string. and the middle finger. And then that actually, you know, that set me back. But I realized that, hey, I have to take this little setback and get up to speed on the other finger so that I reduce that pain. Got rid of the pain, never had any problem again. I'm not saying you're going to have pain. Now, make sure you understand what works for me may not work for you, okay? But I'm just telling you these things to try and help you. Tune a lot, okay? This is a big mistake I see that a lot of people do. Your banjo can get out of tune pretty easily. If you're using a capo, stuff like that, if you're outside, you know, changes in humidity, tune. Check your tuning. That's why you bought that little $20 tuner to go on the end of your banjo, right? Use it. And you know what? Here's another one. Turn it off after you're done using it. That'll save you that battery. People do that all the time too. I'll see a video where somebody's playing and the tuner's just boom, 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 boom while they're playing. Turn it off. That'll save you that battery. Okay, the next thing. Learn the top 6 chords. The chords you're going to use the most. Learn those, okay? That's your G, C, D, E minor, A, and F chords, all right? G, C, D, E minor, A, and F chords. Use the baby version of those chords if you can't get the full version of those chords. And I have videos on all of this stuff, okay? Listen to the melody of the song before trying to learn it. I can't reiterate this one enough. So many times I see people, you know, they go to tackle learning a song. They've never heard the song before in their life. You're not going to be successful. It's going to be a lot harder for you to learn, okay? Don't do that. Make it easier on yourself. Listen to that song being played, either by another banjo or any other instrument. Just start internalizing that melody to where you can go da 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 da. Now this is an inside joke, this song, so those who know what I'm talking about, you'll be laughing here. But take time. It just takes a little bit of time, you know. We're not rushing through everything and speeding through everything. And that's another thing that I see a lot. People just want to fly through one thing and just consume the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But what's happening is you never took the time to learn the first one on the instrument. You never took that time. And what do I mean by learning it? Okay, people don't like to hear this one either, but, you know, memorize the song. Yeah, you need to, and I don't mean every note. What I mean is the melody notes, okay? If you start off with a basic melody, that's where you're going to be the most successful. And this will ruffle some feathers. Don't get into tons of tab, okay? Yes, I create tab, and I do that for a specific reason. People want it, but over time, you'll see if you'll do it this way, the way that I'm telling you to do it, that you don't really need that tab. That's someone else's style on that paper. It's not your style. What you need is the melody of the song, okay? And then you build from there, okay? So, after you learn those chords, listen to the melody. All right, the next thing, buy a capo. All right, just buy a capo. It's going to make life a lot easier, and you don't have to learn countless hours and put countless hours into playing in different keys on your banjo. Now you can do that later, and for more advanced players, that's a great thing to do, and you should do it. But get that capo, make life easier. I've got a full course on the capo and how to use it, and how to use it to make things so much easier when you're playing with others, okay? Get some sort of a mute. Now, you don't have to spend any money on that mute, but a sponge, okay, a dish rag. Shove it in between your dowel, see that little sponge, and your head to mute, all right? Now, you're going to mute for various reasons. Your family doesn't want to hear you messing up all day. Take it from me, they don't, okay? They don't want to hear you exploring and finding the notes for something. So you can mute it to various degrees. And you can also run the mute, whatever that is that you're using, up and down that dowel or your rods, whatever you have, up and down to get various sounds, okay? So you've got to multiple uses there for those mutes. Try different bridges, okay? Bridges are very inexpensive, you know, 10 to 15 bucks you can get a bridge, and it will change the sound of your instrument, okay? Learn to properly set your bridge, and I don't mean by taking a ruler out. I've got videos on this. It's simple to set your bridge properly and have it intonated properly. Now, you're never going to be 100% intonated because we're dealing with a bunch of different things here. We're dealing with that head that is a platform that floats around, and the bridge and the nut and all that stuff. But try out some different bridges. You can get different sounds. One thing that I like that I've just recently found out about and been introduced to by my buddy Johnny is the raised fifth string. I really like that because I like low action. So and when I say low, I really like low action. So I like raising that fifth string just a little bit, and it just helps me get under it, okay? Mess with your head tension, okay? You can mess around with your head tension. Don't be afraid of that. You can over tighten a head. I've never done it, and I've tightened them pretty tight before. You can absolutely over tighten it. So while you're tightening it or loosening it, you can always be pressing around it. You'll feel, okay, the tension. And if it gets to be super duper 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 hard, then don't tighten it too much more than that, okay? But your head tension will make a difference in your sound too, a drastic difference, okay? So you can mess around with that. Practice scales. Yes, this is not the most fun thing, but learn a couple of scales, all right? Learn the notes that's in the scale and find those notes in several places, not just one. Try like 2 at least, okay? Learn those notes and play them in a couple of places on your fretboard. Those notes are in your songs, okay? So let's say you're playing Oh Susanna in the key of G. Guess what? Guess where all the notes to that song came from? The G scale, okay? And no, it's not fun to just do scales 100% of the time. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to learn them. Take the time to learn. Our most popular scale we're going to use is the G scale when we're playing old-time banjo in G, standard G tuning. So that's our most popular one. Learn it. It doesn't take that long, and you don't have to practice it 100 million times. You can take 2 minutes. After you learn it, you can take 2 minutes each session and just really internalize those notes, okay? And you're internalizing them through your ear, through what you see on the fretboard, what frets they're at. And if you want to, you can internalize the actual note names. I don't do that quite as much as far as the music theory side of things. I am more by sight and by ear than by learning the notes. But other people are different, you know, people are different, okay? So they learn and pick up things differently. So yes, do the scales. Start ear training early. Now, if it's already later for you, get your butt in there and do some ear training, okay? This is essential. I cannot stress this one enough to you. Ear training, okay? I just don't understand people who don't want to do this, okay? Yes, at the beginning, it's a little bit difficult to do. But that's why I show you, I have videos on this. That's why I show you to take simple melodies like nursery rhymes. Why do we take nursery rhymes? Okay, the melody's simple and you probably are already a little bit familiar with it. Okay, you may or may not be, but there are nursery rhymes, I'm sure that you are familiar with the melody. Another commonality of nursery rhymes is that they often just walk up and down a scale, okay? Oftentimes they will do that, and it makes it easier to pick out the notes. Okay, I know it goes up from here because it's da-da. I know that, all right? Ear training, ear training, ear training, you guys. Come on. You know, if you don't already know this, I have an entire website of lessons if you want to learn from me, if you enjoy my style. I have basic courses. I do have lots of tabs. I have lots of ear training. I have all kinds of stuff over there. Hundreds of videos, files, teaching you how to play with others and all that stuff at banjolemonade.com. Okay, that's the last commercial you'll hear from me. So pick out those easy melodies with that G scale that you learned, okay? You know, pick it out in G. Mary Had a Little Lamb, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You know, just do all these, okay? You will, by doing this, each time you do it, it will get a little bit easier, okay? And then you move on to the harder songs. Don't start out with a hard song, okay? Start with the easy songs. We want to have little victories, little quick, hey, I picked out Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yes, I did that. Okay, next time I'm going to pick out a little bit more of a nursery rhyme. And then just incrementally move your way up. Learning by ear is really special, you guys. And it's one of the most amazing things you can do because it's training your ear so that when you hear things, you'll be able to just take that, grab your banjo. Literally, this is what I can do, okay? And it's not anything special or unique to me. I can pick up a banjo, and if I've heard a melody enough and internalized it, I can pick it out pretty quickly on the banjo, okay? I can just pick out those single notes, and then I can turn it into a clawhammer arrangement or a two-finger arrangement, whatever I want. You can do this, okay? Play along with slow stuff, okay? So recordings, videos, whatever. And on YouTube, which is really cool, they have a way for you to slow down the videos, okay? So it's either the gear icon down below on the right or 3 dots up in the right corner. You can click on that and you click on playback speed, and then you can, it'll say 1.0 or something like that, and then it'll say 0.75, 0.50. You can slow it down. Now, I wouldn't go below about 0.75 because it will, you know, it will distort the sound. So about 0.75. So you can just Google search, and I have a lot of play-alongs too, you know, that you can play along with as well, and you can slow these things down and play along with them, okay? Listen to recordings over and over to internalize the melody, all right? So again, you know, why are you trying to learn a song you aren't familiar with? That makes no sense to me at all. And yes, if you just started playing banjo or something and you're looking at me or other people, you see a lot of these old time songs that you might have never heard before. Well, you know, we play those songs for multiple reasons. One being, this is not the only reason, we play them for multiple reasons, but one being, we can play and teach these freely on YouTube because they're in the public domain, okay? That's just one reason. There's lots more, okay? But that's one reason you're hearing that, okay? So seek those out, learn them, you know, find one you like the sound of, and then find someone, it doesn't have to be me here, okay? Find someone playing it to where you can slow it down and do that, okay? I'm getting ahead of myself. There we go. Explore different styles, okay? If you're an early beginner, don't try to play a bunch of different styles of play. But once you've got a good year under your belt or more, start exploring other styles of play. And I don't mean you have to necessarily go all in on that and try it and really put everything into it, but explore it in the fact that you're listening to it, and you'll find things that really bend your ear in a good way, all right? And I combine a bunch of different styles when I play. And that's because I love music, all styles, okay? Which brings me to another one. Do not fall into this trap. Do not hate on other styles. Why would you ever do that? Why? Okay? People get into these forums and junk, and they start hating on other styles. Don't fall into that, okay? Be kind to everyone. There's room for everybody to play the banjo any way they want, right? And, you know, if someone, don't get caught up in all that garbage, okay, please? Just enjoy all styles. If you don't like something, you know what? Don't listen to that, or don't try to play that. Just move on. You don't have to be mean to people or anything like that. There's no sense in that stuff. Okay. Use a metronome to test your internal clock, okay? If you don't already practice with a metronome, start practicing with a metronome. And people misunderstand me here, I know they misunderstand everyone when they say this. You don't have to use a metronome 100% of the time, okay? You don't have to, but you should use it some. You need to test your internal clock to make sure you have good timing. Because guess what? If you don't have good timing, when you try to play that thing, it's not going to work. You have to have good timing, okay? Especially if you try to play with someone else. There is nothing that turns me off more when I go to play with someone and they have bad timing. Okay. Obviously, if I'm going to teach someone, that's different. I'm teaching them about that. If I'm going out, because there's a lot of musicians out there who have bad timing, and you know, it's a shame. They just didn't take the time to just internalize and get that clock going. Okay. Now, another thing to do, if you don't like, if that tick of that metronome is just too much for you, you don't like it, try a drum beat. Try easy. There's lots of free drum beats on YouTube that you can listen to, and you can get real simple ones that aren't too involved, and you just internalize that. And again, I've got videos on all this stuff, how to work with a metronome, all that stuff. But you need to have timing. It is very essential. I cannot stress that one enough. Okay. Explore different tunings. Okay. This is wonderful. You know, we love our instrument and we love hearing it, and we love hearing the different things that people over the years have done with it. So explore these different tunings, namely sawmill and double C tuning. All right. You're going to find just so many cool things out there in those tunings. Okay. So explore those as well. Don't be locked in on a tuning. That's another thing that I've seen, you know, with people over the years. They get locked in on a tuning, and I just don't understand that. It's not that difficult to just tune one string to be in sawmill or two strings to be in, double C, and you can do it. You can do it. So you should try it. Have your banjo out. Okay. Don't put it away in the case. Why are you doing that? Have at least one banjo. For those of you who have more than one, I have 3 banjos. One I just made. That's that kit banjo right here. My stone and my CCOT. Now, you might not be able to have them all out all the time, and that's fine. But you should have one out at all times. And why is that? Well, if it's out, it's staring at you. And it'll remind you that you need to practice, okay? And plus, they're beautiful hanging up on the wall or wherever you can put them to where they can be seen. Because when people come to your house, what are they going to do? Hey, who plays banjo? And I guarantee you they're going to say, grab that sucker and play me something, okay? And that's a good thing. All right, so have it out. This one. I will never understand this right here. Practice every day. I don't understand people, okay? You say, well, I don't have time to practice every day. Really? You don't? You know, maybe you don't want to play an instrument and learn an instrument if you don't have time. I'll bet you have time to sit and watch TV for 2 or 3 hours a day. And yeah, I'm getting tough with you here, but I'll bet you do. So turn the idiot box off and learn something that's fun, okay? And that will enrich your life. You know, that TV ain't going to do nothing for you. I promise you that. So everybody tells me, oh, I don't have time to practice 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week. And they tell me that. Are you crazy? Maybe you don't want to learn an instrument, okay? That's all I can say for you. Practice the thing every day. Make the time. You can do it. Have a goal. Have a goal. You know, your goal may be, okay, now you need to have realistic goals, of course, but have at least one goal you're always working towards. Once you reach that goal, set another one. I have multiple goals. And since I'm putting out lessons and teaching people all the time, I have lots of goals. So have a goal. Set that goal. It might be this week or in 2 weeks, I want to have this song memorized. Okay. And what do I say when I say memorize? Again, I'm saying the melody. Internalize the melody and have it to where you can play that melody on this sucker, okay? Just a basic melody. And I don't mean embellishing the heck out of it. I just mean get that melody in you, all right? So that might be your goal. When you reach that, boom, set another goal. The next goal might be, okay, now that I've internalized that melody and I really know the melody and I'm comfortable playing the melody, what am I going to do to embellish it? Okay, I'll take another week or two and I'm going to embellish it. I'm going to live in the song. Okay, so set a goal. Next one, challenge yourself. And this goes along with your goals too, okay? So find and think about areas you need to do this with, okay? So if you haven't started ear training or you've only done it once, this is what most people are at. I don't know why, but get in there and do that. Challenge yourself to learn something by ear. You can do it, okay? The easiest way to do it is going to be on a banjo, listening to a banjo. Once you're beyond those nursery rhymes, get a banjo recording or something that you can pick up. And in challenging yourself, once you get really good at that, listen to another instrument, play it, and play it on your banjo, okay? So that's how you're challenging yourself, you know. I can listen to it on a fiddle, mandolin, whatever, and pick it up on the banjo. And I'm not trying to brag. It's just because I've trained my ear. And that's what you need to do too, okay? And I promise you it'll help you, all right? The next one. Put down the tab, okay? Now, I'll get flack for this probably, but it's true. Put the tab down. Set it down. There's nothing wrong with learning from tab, okay? But you don't want to be dependent on tab. And what a lot of people will do is they will learn a song from tab, and that's the only way they can play that song ever again from now on. And that is someone else's style, okay? When you learn from only tab, you're playing, you're a carbon copy of someone else. Is that what you want to be? I mean, I guess if that's what you want to be, keep doing it. And again, there's nothing wrong with tab, especially in the beginning. Tab really jumps you out there and gets you playing melodies quickly. And it's a good skill to have to be able to read tab, okay? So tab has its place, but there's a time to put it down. And how do you do that? Well, you learn those scales. You learn by ear. You listen to melodies and internalize them. I mean, I'm giving you the building blocks here. You can do it, all right? The next one, record yourself. I cannot stress this one enough either. Be it, you know, old school, a tape player, if you got a tape player and can record, a phone. Most people have a phone nowadays, and you can record yourself playing. All right, here's a good thing to do. YouTube is free. You can make a YouTube account, okay? You don't have to make it public for everybody to see, but you can make a YouTube account, and you can upload as many videos as you want and store them there and keep them unlisted so that only you or anyone with that link to that video can see it. And you can look back, okay? And that's a huge reason to record yourself. To look back, to see. Because what happens is after a few months or even 6 months, people will go, oh, I'm just not learning fast enough. I should be, and this is their mind. I don't know why, but they think they should be a professional musician after 6 months of play. And they're not even practicing every day. Okay, but anyway, you can look back and you can see how far you've progressed. Do about one a week, just 30-second video clip, whatever, of whatever you're working on, to where you can see both your hands playing that banjo, and you're really going to see your progress, okay? And that's a good thing to do, all right? Memorize the melody. I did touch on this already, but you know that melody is crucial to the song. And if you don't have the melody, you don't have the song. You've got something else. And I see people that'll really get lost and there's no melody coming out. If you play back what you're playing and you don't hear the melody of the song, you're not playing that song, you're playing something else. Now, I might take some flack for that too, because there's, you know, a melodic style of play, and I would never hate on that style. I love it too, as much as everything else. But it's not how I play, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I have a specific purpose for what I play, and it's to be able to play with others while singing and performing, either at church or out in public or whatever. And that's the majority of my style. I do also do some instrumental stuff as well, but some of the melodic heavy stuff will, I don't want to say lose the melody, but it will dampen the melody, and it makes the melody harder to find. Which, another thing too, I like to hear when somebody will take the melody and maybe they'll start out with the basic melody and then they'll go melodic and then bring it back. You know, that's neat too. So yeah, okay. The next one, live in a song. Live in a song. Yes, I mentioned it before, but look, you have to take time with these songs. Just quit with the, oh, I'm going to learn this song. Oh, I'm going to learn this song. And you can't play that first one or the second one or the third one. After a month, you can't play any of those that you just quickly learned by tab, and you didn't really learn it. See, that's the thing. You just read it off of a sheet of music, and that's fine too. Remember, that does have its place. But come on, live in that song. Get a binder, all right? Get a binder and print out some of these songs. And do I mean tab? Well, sure, do the tab, but the optimal thing for me anyway is to have the lyrics with the chords on it, not a tab sheet. That's what I play by. If you see me flipping through a book, it's just because I can't remember the lyrics. And so I'll have those chords there to play through, but the melody, I can just play that melody because I know the song. If I don't know the song, obviously I can't play the melody. But I can take songs that I've played in the past, have them in my book, flip through that book during a practice session to refresh, okay? Refresh your songs, all right? Get organized in your practice, okay? This is another big one. A lot of people don't have an organized practice session. Now, if you're practicing several hours a day, you might not need to be very organized because you are going through different things. So you can practice the wrong thing though, you know. Let's say you're practicing several hours and you're going through 5 different songs via tab that you're trying to learn. You know, you might not get a lot out of that. What I would rather have you do is warm up with some things that you know, maybe just quickly, and you know, depend on your level here, quickly run through a scale. Okay, you can do it. Quickly run through that. Have a practice session where you're working on some ear training. Have a practice session where you are doing a song from tab that you're learning, you know, that you're learning or whatever. That's fine. Have a song that you're strictly embellishing. You know the song and you've been playing it for a while, but you're spending this time embellishing that song. And then have some time where you're playing along with others in your sessions. How do you do that? You guys, YouTube, okay? You might not have all these records and stuff. If you don't, that's fine. YouTube, they've got tons of stuff out there on YouTube everywhere that you can play along with, and it's free, okay? So, do it. Learn some basic music theory, okay? So, I don't know tons of music theory, but I have a good general knowledge of music theory, and I've just gotten that over the years, and you just pick up little bits and pieces. At the site, I have a whole page of general music theory sheets that are basic, and it just easily steps you up as you go. And I don't have anything hard on there, but it just easily steps you up. Why do I say to learn that basic music theory? It's going to help you, all right? I promise you it'll help you. It'll help you play with other musicians. That's the main thing, okay? If you learn some basic music theory, it'll help you understand how to use that capo, okay? And how to use it wisely. So get a little bit of general music theory under your belt. I can't read standard music notation, and that's okay. If you want to learn that, learn it. You know, take the time to learn it. I'm just more of a visual and auditory learner. When I get to the paper stuff and trying to learn all the book work, it's not, I start losing my joy there a little bit. So, but some people love that. If you love it, do it, okay? Take the time and do it. And that brings me to another thing. Have fun. If this stuff is not fun for you, maybe you aren't wanting to play a banjo. You know, maybe this isn't the instrument for you, or maybe you didn't really want to learn a musical instrument to begin with. You've got to get a little bit organized and have goals and have things that you're, you know, striving for. And people might say, well, Mandy, did them old timers sitting on the porch? Hey, I'm on the porch. Did they have these goals and these organized practice sessions? Yeah, they did. Guess what? They sat with their buddy or whoever was teaching them that song, and they learned it. And guess what they did when they went home? When they weren't working and at night and stuff, they practiced it. They didn't watch TV. They practiced it, okay? So trust me, you need to get a little organized here. Play in front of others as much as you can, okay? And one thing you can do, and I hate to keep saying it, I've got videos on this, but, you know, take your banjo with you somewhere. Challenge yourself here, okay? Go sit in a public park. You can sit off to your, you know, to the side where there's, you know, get near one of those walking trails or something and there's a bench. Go sit there and play. People will walk by. Half of them won't even acknowledge you're there. They've got headphones on. They're on their own world or whatever. Some may stop and talk to you. Some may say, well, that's pretty cool, as they walk by or whatever. And you might not even have one person come by you. You know what? That's okay. You put yourself out there. And, you know, here's another thing about doing this. If you'll just do this, you might get someone else interested in learning to play the banjo. How cool would that be? Or they might walk by and go, you know, I'm learning guitar. Maybe we should meet here under the pavilion over there on Fridays and play for an hour and practice. Okay, how cool would that be? All right, and I've run into that. How many times I can't say, because, you know, you get that a lot when you're out there, when you put yourself out there, okay? And I don't mean you have to go in front of 1 million people and do that. I just mean get out there in little baby steps, okay? People come over to your house. If you have that banjo out, they'll ask you to play it. That's an easy one. Pick a song or arrangement that's really hard and take time to learn it from watching or listening to someone else play it. And this is that ear training again, kind of too, but pick a song that you like. And you might not have ever heard it before, but you hear it and you go, you might have heard it on the radio or wherever, and you go, whoa, I want to learn that song on the banjo. All right, and then when you get home or whatever, look it up on YouTube. I guarantee you someone's playing it on YouTube. Most likely, okay? If not, the Library of Congress has all these old tunes. They have recordings of them, okay? So pick a song that you hear from somewhere that you don't know that you'd like to learn. And then don't go looking up tab on it. Don't do that, okay? Listen to it over and over again, all right? Listen to it on different instruments. Get to where you are humming or da-da-da-da-daing that melody around your house, all right? Do that. Then start putting it on your banjo. And remember, before I said it will be easiest if you're doing this to do it with someone else playing the same style as you and stuff like that. But if you want to challenge yourself more to that, do it like that, okay? And, you know, slow down the videos if you want. I've done that a lot of times very successfully, and I'll learn new things from doing that, from watching others play. And that's what you should be doing, okay? We might not be able to sit on the porch with everybody and do that. YouTube is a big giant porch, okay? You can sit right next to them. You can even pause them and rewind them, okay? So do that. Some of the really good ones are coming now. Learn a few techniques to begin and end songs, okay? Just some easy ones. From licks in that chord that you're beginning on or ending on, you know, stuff like that. Just learn a few things like that. Learn a few techniques. And I say that because I use a specific technique to do intros. And it's really easy. Okay. Then, quit talking about it and do it. Gosh, this is another one I really want to stress to you. Quit talking about it. Quit reading about it. Go do it. Okay? People, I don't know what happens. They might turn off their TV and practice a little bit, but then they get on some forum somewhere and spend an hour. Waste an hour reading junk on a forum. And I don't mean like they looked up something where they were trying to learn something specific and did it. That's different. I'm talking about completely wasting their time. Don't do that. Get that banjo, pick it up, and learn it. Okay, you can do it. The forums can be, forums out there can be a great thing, but there's also just a bad side to the forums. Okay, and I got off those forums long ago because I found myself doing it. You get down this rabbit hole of stuff, and it's like, why am I not playing my banjo? I have free time. I could be playing or internalizing a melody by listening to someone else. I mean, there's just so much better stuff you could be doing with your time to improve on your instrument. Okay. I keep losing my place on my list. Okay, here we go. Jams. Okay, try to go to a jam or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10. Okay, and they might not be your scene. Okay, you might find that you don't like jams. You might find that you don't connect with the people at a specific jam. Well, try another one. Okay, you might not ever find a jam that's right for you, and that's okay. But you need to try and get yourself out there and play with other people. Okay, you do need to do that. Now, if you found that wasn't something you wanted to do, maybe, I don't know, you just didn't connect. Okay, for some reason or another, you didn't like the jams. Okay, maybe you're like, I'm too much of a beginner and they're mean to me or whatever. Well, you know what? Some people are just mean and rude, and I've encountered that a lot. And that doesn't mean I'm going to put my banjo down, for sure. And I'm not going to let whatever they had to say about me get under my skin. I'm just going to go somewhere else and find somebody else to have fun with. Okay, it's all about learning and having fun. Okay, and if you're not doing that, get out of that situation. If you go to a jam and people are mean to you or whatever, get out of there quick. Okay, now there are things you should do at a jam session, and one of them is quit being loud and obnoxious. Don't be loud and obnoxious with your banjo. Banjos can be loud and obnoxious, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can really mess up a jam, and people might get aggravated with you. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about people that are just haters, I guess, and there are people like that in the world, lots of them, and you'll run into them, and you know what you do? You just turn around and go the other way. That's what you do. All right. So if you couldn't do the jams, seek out a few other people to play with. Well, how do I do that, Mandy? One of them is go to the park and play. Another one is you can put up, one thing I did, it was a long time ago, but I did a Craigslist ad, and I said, I want to start a jam session, and we'll be playing this type of music, and I listed like 4 or 5 different genres. Old time, I did old time, I did folk, I did blues, I can't remember, something, country, and I did country, okay, and bluegrass. So I would have different people that met up with me each week, and they would bring their instruments. We had all kind of different instruments, and sometimes people would come and go and that sort of thing, and we actually created a band out of this jam session later on, and that was a lot of fun too. But that's one thing I did. But another thing you can do is that in public places like your library, your post office, they'll let you put up a little a little thing where you might be selling something or whatever, you can put it there. You can say, hey, I want to do a jam session. I play this. I'm seeking other instruments to play along with, like guitars, mandolins, fiddles, basses, stuff like that. And you'll get some response out of that. So, if you're not out and about a lot, that's a way to do that, okay? Just talking to people. I've met people that play instruments at the gas pump. I mean, for real, I'm not kidding here. Do you talk to people at the gas pump? I do. In the line at checkout, yep, talk to people there too, and sometimes the conversation goes to music, so whatever, do that, okay? Most importantly here, I want you to have fun when you're playing, and if you're not having fun, maybe you need to tweak what you're doing a little bit, okay? And no, for me, the least fun thing for me is all the music theory. That's the least fun. But you know what? I put some of that in there. I put some of that into my learning so that I can pick some of that up, okay? And you don't really need a ton of it to do all right on the banjo. If you want to get professional level and all this stuff, yes, you better start learning music theory. I will just sort of consider myself a perpetual intermediate player for the rest of my life. And guess what? I'm perfectly happy with that. I don't have to learn, I don't have to, I do like exploring the neck some, but I don't have to go crazy with it and learn all the diminished seventh augmented chords and all that stuff. I'm fine with my basic stuff that I know. And it's really, it's your journey. It's what you want to get out of it. And so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at and how I feel about it. But guess what? I'm not you. You might want to do something different, and that's great. Do it. I'm not telling you to be exactly like me. I hope you understand that. Get a repertoire of your songs. Okay, remember that thing where I said get the notebook? You need to build up a good repertoire of about 20 or so songs that like the back of your hand, okay? That you can whip out, all right? And if you say, I'm bored with this song. I never understand this one either. People say this to me and I go, what? You're bored with a song? Maybe you don't want to play an instrument because you play a lot of the same songs over and over. I hope you realize that over the years. Yeah, you add songs, of course, but I'm still playing Wagon Wheel like 12 or 13 years later. And guess what? I still like it. I didn't get bored with it. I never understand that when people tell me that. I understand about getting fresh things in as well, and doing new things, but yeah, I don't get the whole I got bored with a song at all. I don't get that one at all. So build that repertoire up, and you've got to live within a song to do that, all right? And if you'll just take one page out of your book every practice session and just go through that song, just that one page, you'll see that over time, especially, yeah, you're adding fresh stuff all the other time, but you might warm up on that song. And then the next time, turn the page, go to the next song. Next time, turn the page. Every practice session. You'll find that you're just really internalizing these songs more. You're getting better at them. And here's another thing that you'll find. You'll find freedom. Now, there is nothing like the freedom of knowing a song. Once you know that song, you are free to play around the melody. And y'all, this is so special. I can't tell you how many times I get, Mandy, you did not play that exactly like the tab. That's one of the hardest things for me to do. I do try, you guys, I promise you. But it is very difficult for me to play the tab that I wrote, because that was one moment in time of me playing that song. Music is alive and it evolves, okay? And how I play that song changes over time. I may not play that song the same way more than one time. Some songs I do. Some songs I play it exactly the same way every time. Other songs, boy, I just move all around it. play the melody a little differently. And it's really freeing to do that, okay? So that's why you want to build up that repertoire, okay? And another thing, you'll be able to just bust out those songs anytime you want for people, because you are going to have people that want you to play, and you should want to play. Okay, the next thing. Write out by hand some tablature, okay? Get a, remember how I told you to challenge yourself by listening to somebody playing it on another instrument or a banjo, whatever level you're at there, and then learning it on your banjo, picking out the notes. Go ahead and take that opportunity to print out a blank sheet of tab and write the tab, okay? It will really be cool for you to write some tab, especially when you start creating your own stuff. And you may or may not do that. Some people do, some people don't. I'm more along the lines of just, there's so much for me to learn out there. I'm just going to learn everybody else's stuff. I don't really create a lot of new stuff. I just do a new twist on an old song kind of thing. But writing out some tab is a really cool thing, and it'll teach you a lot by doing that. Play songs you enjoy, okay? If you listen to a song and you don't really care for it, don't ever bother to learn that song. Move on. Why waste your time with something you don't want to do? If your teacher, and I tell people this all the time, if I'm giving you a song you don't like, tell me. Because you need to do stuff you enjoy, okay? I don't have time in my life to be doing stuff I completely hate, okay? This is something I want to learn, right? So don't do that, okay? Take some lessons if you can, in person or online. It can be by me or someone else. You might not click with me. That's fine. I understand that. Not everybody does. Find someone. If you can take lessons in person, that's good too. I always want you to do more. I want you to learn from a whole bunch of different resources other than just one person, in case that person, may not be teaching you what you want to go down, they might be wanting to force something on you, like a style or something that you don't really want to learn. And if you're a brand new beginner, you may not even know that. And it might get you discouraged. Okay. So use multiple sources, but if you can, take some lessons online or in person, either way. A lot of it now is online because of our situation. But it's starting to open back up. Drill, 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 drill. Can't emphasize this one enough either. A section of a song that is difficult for you, people will often tend to just gloss over that and sort of pretend it doesn't exist, and that's weird. You need to learn the whole song. So those parts that are stumbling you up, drill those. Practice them over and over and over until you get it. If it's too hard, if you're looking at tab and you've got an arrangement that's outside of your level or something like that, simplify it down. Get it to the melody, okay? Yeah, drill. Then move on. I see a lot of people who can play. They'll be playing a song and you can tell they enjoy it, and then they get to that section and it trips them up. And then once they pass that section, they're having fun again. Well, you know what? All you did there is you missed an opportunity. You just missed an opportunity to have fun the entire way through the song and to be good at the entire song by drilling. Just drill it. Okay, you can do it. Practice playing some chord progressions and use creative ways to go from one chord to another. Okay, so go through your most common chord progressions that you see, the 1, 4, 5. And I'm watching my cat way down the road and wishing it would not be where it's at. But you can't control what they do. It's a cat. It's Bear. But anyway, okay. Drill. Do the chord progressions. That will teach you a lot. Playing within a chord progression, okay? What are songs? Songs are just chord progressions. You should be able to play, and I don't mean play the melody. You should be able to play along to a song and play the chord progression and not the melody. Okay? Now that's where I differ from some other people. Some people want you to only play the melody over and over and over and over and over again. Well, I prefer, there's nothing wrong with that, but I prefer to play the melody when I want to play the melody, and I play backup and maybe sing, or someone else is singing, and play chords instead of the melody behind them. Okay? And I want to do that in creative ways and make cool sounds with it. So I might have some licks thrown in there that I do, and stuff like that. And then I'll take an instrumental break where I play the melody, which is more of kind of a bluegrass style of play. And that's what I like. Do what you like. Okay. Okay. Now this is a big one too. TEF Viewer. Okay. So Table Edit is a free, you can go to tableedit.com and get the free TEF Viewer. Okay. And I use this on my site, but a lot of people use this. Okay. So I'm not the only one. Tons of people use it. So when I create tab, and it creates a file where I can hit play, and the metronome plays at any speed I want, right? The metronome plays, and it plays through that melody. And I can turn the metronome on and off. I can speed it up or down. I can turn on or off the melody, where I can just watch the little bar going across with the metronome, and then I can play along with it. I can also add other instruments to it, backing it up, like maybe a guitar strumming, and I can turn off one track or the other and play along, practice with it. If I knew about this and could figure it out all those years ago when I started, oh my goodness, this is one of the best practice tools out there, you guys, and it's free. Okay, TEF Viewer, go download it. It's at tableedit.com, and you'll find files for that all over the place. I have a ton on my website. You got to be a member for that, but I think Banjo Hangout. I think that Banjo Hangout has TEF files on there. And I've got free ones too. But anyway, the TEF file, the TEF Viewer is such a good resource for practice, okay? It'll work on your timing. It'll work on your tablature reading if you're doing that. It'll work on your backup and your backing skills. I mean, you just, oh my goodness, there's so much you can do with that, with that player thing. You can keep it on a loop to where it just runs, and you can play through the melody one time, play through the chords one time, try just playing backup one time, try, there's so much you can do with that. But I have tried to go through this as fast as I can, but with over 50 tips here, it takes a while. I really do hope you got something out of that, and that you enjoyed it, and that you know that I'm just here wanting to help you. Yes, I do try to make a little money off of it because I spend all my time doing it. But I do tell you also that you don't have to give me any money. I'll give you a lot of free stuff too. And I do. Because when I started, and this is the reason, okay, when I first started, there wasn't a lot out there that I could find, and there was nobody teaching it, so I was like, I would put up, and I was just taking my own advice there. I recorded myself, but I would go ahead and make them public so other people could see, hey, this is me learning how to play, and they might go, hey, I'm learning that song too. I like this little thing you did here, or whatever. And I started getting a lot of questions, and so I would answer those questions, and that's where it all started. I just started getting a lot of questions, and then I started answering it, and then, and over the years, I had jobs, and I was working outside the home, and I would have time to do it, and then I wouldn't have time to do it, and all that sort of stuff. But now I'm devoting all my time to it. So it's my job. I do make money off of it because people join my website to learn from me there. But I also offer a lot of free stuff still on YouTube because of that reason. I do want people to find a little bit of a resource out there. I have 1 through 8 of my Clawhammer lessons out there that are free, and they are right in order, and you can do those, and you don't have to ever join my site or anything like that. But if you want the in-between and all the extra stuff, then you can join my site and help support me a little bit and help support what I do, if you want to do that. If you don't, that's fine too. But anyway, I'm going to let you go now. It's been 1 hour. Now, I'll edit this down somewhat to get out redundant things and stuff like that. But if you made it to the end, wow, most people do not. So, like always, before I go, I always want to remind you that Jesus loves you. Bye-bye, y'all. Get over there and play some banjo.